Today I noticed on my Facebook feed a story of a baby girl found face down in a toilet in Montgomery, Alabama in 2006. And this young child had just been born. And it turned out later that the mother was a teenager. She was an undocumented immigrant. And she was, at that moment, making a decision that she thought was going to be for the best. Maybe she worried or was threatened when she was pregnant. Maybe she worried that she wouldn't be able to eat, let alone her baby would be able to eat. Or maybe she was afraid somebody would take the baby from her. Or maybe she was afraid that of the responsibility that comes with a child. So she made a very permanent decision to take out the life of this baby. And they know this because when they did an autopsy, they found water in the lungs, which can only happen if the baby is actually breathing. They discovered later that this child, and I call this mother a child, but she was just a teenager. She was in the bathroom for 30 minutes. According to security cameras, she was caught shoplifting in Idaho, and before they were able to determine that it was her DNA that was the mother of the baby, she'd already been returned to Mexico. And it got me to thinking, like, that story just hit me really hard. Is when you're having an abortion, it's typically a little bit more clinical, right? You're going to a facility or they're giving you pills. It isn't like it used to be in the 60s and the 70s when you're having to do this on your own in the bathroom with whatever tools you have on hand with no medication. And so to make that decision that you're going to terminate the life of a child, when it's inside your womb, it's much less real in your face. Even though that kind of comes to you later on, that child that passed away was real in her hands. And it was her decision that turned the baby over and put it down the canal of the toilet to snuff out its life. Probably to stop making sure that nobody could hear the baby cry. And she probably didn't know what to do, was very scared, maybe unsure. It is possible that she didn't even know she was pregnant. She just went to the bathroom, was experiencing all this pain, and delivered a baby by surprise, and in the fear of the moment, chose death. And 2006 is almost 20 years ago. And I thought to myself, who is that young girl now? She's 16, 17, 18 years old. I don't know how old she was. But she was classified as a teenager. She is now in her 30s. And she is someone who knows right from wrong now, right? When you're a teenager, your prefrontal cortex hasn't even completely formed. That's why they don't want you doing certain things until you're old enough. Because when you turn 25 and all of a sudden you have clarity, light bulbs go on, relationships that you have don't seem as important, or you're just like, why am I putting up with this? A lot of things happen at the age of 25. So she's probably a good 10, 15 years after that. And I don't even know how you begin to heal from that. Does that keep her up at night? Does it make her sad? Has she blocked it out completely? Does she ignore it, pretend like it didn't happen? Or maybe it was so traumatic that she can't even remember that she's done it. The day will come for everyone whether that happens in this lifetime, at your deathbed, or in the next lifetime. Everyone finds out the choices that they made and whether they were beneficial or not. I can't imagine the pain that she is in. But you know, there are resources. God gave us choice. He also told us, do not murder, do not kill. But he did not make us robots. He allowed us to come here and make our choices. And after the choice, we have two choices. We can repent and turn to him, or we can go cold and turn away. Many, I know for me, after my abortion, I grew cold and turned away. It was very difficult for me to find my way back to God. And it is only through my now living children that it even happened. I had grown so far away from God until I had my children. Then I recognized, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get through this without you, God. I need your help. I think as an adult, it's too easy to take routes where you know the outcome and you don't need God. You don't need God's comfort and strength and to guide you. You don't need his guidance because you're like, I already know where I'm going. I already have a map. I got my GPS, whatever. I already know where I'm going. So what do you do when that day comes that you realize I've done something horrible, and you're crying and you're upset and it tears at your heart and you realize I need help? I welcome you to my book, Abortion Healing for Catholic Women. Even though terminating a child's life right after birth isn't technically an abortion, it is along the same lines. It is making a choice out of fear, not trusting God to help you, and believing that you know what's best. Or you're believing the words and the thoughts that are in your head of, I can't do this, I'm not enough, or that something horrible will happen, and I have to take this step, right? This book is more than just for abortion. This book is a healing book. And if you have intentionally taken the life of a child at any age, everyone needs healing. And most of all, the person who made the choice. Chapters 7, 8, and 9 are the healing chapters in this book. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and find the gift. In that path and learning about God's love and examining your past, the whole book encompasses everything about healing moments, about healing your life at some way. Even if you haven't had an abortion, there's still healing that can come from my book. If you just, instead of abortion, you insert whatever challenge that you have, that you're having problems getting over. The healing words are in this book. The healing scriptures, the healing path. And I invite you to take this journey to follow and find God and find a new purpose in life. And look at this world through the eyes that only happen after you've gone through your healing journey. How can you help this world? How can you help others find their healing journey also? How can you give back to this world? How can you make this world a better place? That's what we're all called for. And if you've been harmed, or you've harmed somebody else, or you're hurting, or you hurt someone else, it's very difficult to have that mindset of, wow, how can I make this world a better place, when you're too busy sitting on the floor crying or hurting or angry. So I hope if you found this video today that you are compelled to reach out and look for this book and order it for yourself and realize that you're being called to your healing journey. Thanks for watching.